Hi, my name is Kevin Owen. This is my friend Jack Smith. We're both clinical psychotherapists and counselors. I'm wearing sunglasses because it's sunny, not because I'm pretentious. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about counseling for men. A lot of people think counseling is this girly thing where you sit in a room and you talk about your feelings and cry. Jack, what do you say to that?
That can be counseling. And it can be therapeutic to cry. What I would say is for men, I think one of the biggest problems we have is we feel like if we give into our emotions or that we somehow feel that we're weak. Listen, one of the strongest things you can do is be in control of your emotions. If you're worried about being open and intimate and the self-disclosure freaks you out and you're worried about, telling people you're sorry for what you did or you don't want to feel sadness, this is not good. This just means you're scared to you that being in control of your emotions and being in control of your feelings, that would be the way to be a man, and sometimes it takes help to do that.
It is an awkward position to have to ask for help, but sometimes we need help. Some people believe that as men, it is our role to be the spiritual leader of a household. Now, how in the world are you supposed to do that if you're not going in a direction that you should be going, if you're not healthy, if you're not balanced, if you're carrying the weight of being a husband, if you're carrying the weight of being a father, carrying the weight of being a provider? That's a lot of pressure, and there's not a lot of books for how to do this. Someone needs to teach us how and help us to cope through these things, because your children are not the people who are supposed to receive your frustration, and neither is your wife.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also going back to the feelings and stuff, Jesus was probably the most manliest man I've ever known. I mean, the guy stood against the pop culture. He went against what the synagogues were saying. He was kind of a rebel for his time. And the thing about Jesus is he felt all the emotions. We see he felt anger when people were selling discounted rate sacrifices in the church, and then they were marking up the prices and they weren't very good, and Jesus got mad and he fashioned a whip and kicked him out of the church. So he felt a little anger. He felt sadness when Lazarus died, his best friend. The Bible says he wept. That word translates to wailing. So it wasn't he just teared up a little bit. He was weeping, almost a depressive kind of cry. In the Garden of Gethsemane, he sweated blood. He was so anxious. So all these emotions that we feel, Jesus felt those too, and he was a manly man. Because I tell you right now, I don't know that I'd die for Kevin on a cross, okay? I love you, bro, but that's pretty brutal. I don't know that I want to do that. Jesus died for all the people that were even going to reject him. And to take that and know what he was going to go through, the torture he was going to go through, I don't know how you can be any more manly. So he showed us that it's okay to feel these feelings and to deal with these feelings appropriately.
There's a lot to be said for having someone to talk to. Like when you're a young guy, you go through a breakup. Most of my friends as a young guy had a lot of great qualities, but they were not exactly somebody who would help me through the hardships of breakup and emotional stuff. There's a lot to be said for having good counselors, and when you're a guy, it helps sit and talk to a guy counselor. I believe that there are some things about being a young lady that I cannot possibly understand. There are some things about being a young man and trying to figure out what in the world they're doing that guys like Jack and I are uniquely equipped to help.
Absolutely, yeah.
If you have a loved one, if you're a husband, if you're a father, if you're just a guy, and you want counseling with us doesn't necessarily look like what you think it should look like. Very rarely do people lay on my couch and cry, although they're welcome to. A lot of times it looks like stuff like walking trails and video games and things like that. The important thing is that you're with people who are skilled and trained at talking you through both life issues and clinical issues, and that's what Jack and I do.
Absolutely.